Hola, hola, it's your girl Erica from America. Welcome to the Confidence Chronicles podcast. This podcast is all about helping you stand in who you are. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. Start standing as your fully expressed self. As you are, as is, there is no filter needed. You are fucking awesome, and I am here to remind you. I'm a confidence coach, and I'm a bold stand for confidence, and I cannot wait to dig into today's episode with you. Hola, how are you? Welcome back, or if it's your first time, hello. Welcome to my podcast, peoples. It's raining in Melbourne. It's freezing, y'all. Like winter has come early, let me tell you what. But it's amazing, and life is good, and I'm feeling really pumped. We just had our sisterhood immersion live and in-person full-day event. That is a mouthful, but that day was a mouthful. It was amazing. And if you don't know what the sisterhood is, I don't know where you've been, but it's basically my year-long coaching program that we do in Melbourne live with our group. We're now 50 women deep. It's amazing. It's crazy. I can't believe that there are 50 of us. We have a Sydney sister who flies down from Sydney to come, and it's 6 times a year that we meet, and we basically do the work, basically the podcast at work. All of the topics and issues that I cover in the podcast, and we unpack and we go deep into our own stuff in our own world. The homework is full on. It is a immersive program that is designed to change your fucking life, right? So it's quite amazing, and we had our full day on Sunday, and it was all about ego and alter ego, and you know, your shadow and your ego. And I want to talk to you about that today, because I think that the women in the room were really surprised with what came out. I don't think that they thought what they thought about ego was what they knew. I think that, you know, we were thinking about how fun it's going to be to do alter egos, which, if you don't know what that means, it's basically like your superhero self, your altered self. And it's like alter ego, but alter ego. And so it was great because we really got to dig into, you know, where we're in our ego and where we're in our shadow, where the shadow of ourselves is coming out. I'm going to explain all of this. And then, you know, creating an anchoring system, which was the alter ego experience. And I want to give you this exercise just to give you the idea of how to start doing this for yourself. And if you are joining our online Sisterhood Global program that's happening towards August of this year, then I highly recommend you start working this and start thinking about this, because we're going to go deep into this on the online version of the sisterhood. So let's talk about ego for a minute. Before we get super deep into the podcast, can I just ask you, if you're driving, that's fine, but if you have a pen and paper, I want you to have a think about what you think ego is. When you think about ego, what do you think? What do you see? What does it mean to you, that word? What is ego? Someone with a big ego, egotistical, egomaniac, all of that stuff. When you see ego and think ego, what does it mean to you? I want you to get a picture in your head of someone with an ego. And I'll tell you, when I've asked my clients or the women in the sisterhood, what comes up is usually arrogance, conceited, up yourself, you know, money hungry, greedy, narcissistic, you know, just someone who is, you know, really loud and obnoxious and rude and money hungry and greedy and all about themselves is usually what comes up, right? So you can imagine this person. You don't think about a shy person or a quiet, unassuming person. You think about someone who thinks they're the shit, and you, like Donald Trump, let's say, right? Comes to your mind. He comes to my mind, right? And it's like, yes, Donald Trump has a massive ego, and his ego is running America, right? Like, yes. But here's the uppercut. Here's the punch in the face, the punch in the guts that the sisterhood women got last Sunday when we did this day. Ego is not just when you think you are superior to someone else. And you may be like, I don't think I'm superior to anyone. We do. if you're driving, I'm driving, right? Like, y'all know I podcast and drive. And if you don't know, now you know. I podcast and drive. Those are my windshield wipers in the background. And you will hear my e-tag and shit all going off. And so if I'm driving and I'm at the red light and there's a car at the red light and their vibe, and you know, you catch a vibe when you're driving. That is the best expression of your fucking ego, by the way. Like, oh my God, don't even get me started. That needs a whole nother podcast. But you're driving and someone's next to you. Maybe you've been playing a little bit of, ego car tag, and then the red light goes and you know you want to go, but they go faster and blah, blah, blah. That's ego. And you're like, see, I beat him. I cut him off, or I got through even though he wouldn't let me merge, or she wouldn't let me merge. Does that make sense? There's ego in everything we do. And so at some point in your life, you have felt superior to someone else. Well, I've been in this job longer, so I know more than that new person. Well, I'm older, so I know more. Well, I am the parent, and that is the child, so I know more. I'm superior to that being. Does that make sense? And some of us it's full on, and some of us it's small things, but it's still that I am superior to you. You know, I am a coach and I have a podcast, so I know more than my listeners, which is totally bullshit, but that would be a superior thought that you could have. I'm an author, so I'm more intelligent than the reader because I'm an author. All of that fucking shit, right? Superior. Or I drive a nice car and I walk by a homeless person and they're a bum and they're druggies, and I'm better because I don't do drugs. I'm more spiritual because I go to church, or I'm more spiritual because I do yoga. What the fuck ever. Does that make sense? All of that is superior. So I hope you can find yourself in this. And the exercise I'm going to give you is for you to write down where you think you're superior to others. You don't got to tell me. You don't got to share it on Instagram. You don't got to tell your friends or your husband or anybody. But please be honest with yourself, because if you can find areas where you think you are superior, and believe me, honey, there are. People say, like, I don't have an ego. I'm like, that's your fucking ego telling you that you don't have an ego. Like, yes, you do, right? So where are you superior? Now, here's the uppercut that I told you I was going to give you, the fucking punch in the guts that the Sisterhood Women's mouth was on the floor. I said, who here associates with being shy? Who here feels quiet and shy? And I want you to imagine a room, like 50 full of women, about 50 women. And I'm like, who's shy? And the shy women didn't shoot their hands up in the sky. Like, how does a shy person say they're shy? Their hands are like, I'm shy. Like a little hand goes up. And I'm like, oh, that's the best. It's like me, I don't even want to put my hand up too high that I'm shy. And I said, guess what, all of you shy people out there? The fact that you are shy and that you are not loud and out there, that you will not tell someone off, or that you do not think you're good enough, or you have tall poppy, or which is basically Australian meaning I'm not good enough, or you think you're shit, or you think you're too fat, or you think you're not pretty enough, or you think who cares about me, and you're so inferior, you are also in your fucking ego. To the extreme, by the way. So where you think you are inferior to others, that's ego. I literally mouths dropped on the floor. Like, what do you mean? I thought I was safe from ego. No. So here's what ego is. It's if you think you're superior to someone else and you define yourself as that is who you are, that label, but also if you think you're inferior to others. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not thin enough. Who cares what I have to say? No one's going to listen. Poor me. I'm a fucking victim. I'm so shit. I'm damaged goods. I'm shit. I'm this. I can't sing. I can't cook. I'm so bad at my job. Oh, I'm overweight. Oh, I'm never going to have a man. I'm not a mother yet. Blah, blah. All that. I'm shy. All of that stuff is ego. So you are an egomaniac indulging in your ego when you're like, I'm not good enough, I'm so shit. And people were like, what? No way. I'm like, yes, yeah, 100%. I'm going to give you a book to read as well, by the way, about all of this, so you don't have to believe me, but it is fucking true, honey. And so here's the thing. The thing that one of my mentors, and I don't know where he got it from, I would tell you if I did know, because I love to give people credit for whatever's information, but he would say when you point the finger at someone, like you are this and you are that, and you point your finger outwards towards someone, there are three pointing back at you. And I want you to pretend you're pointing. When you point at someone, the middle finger, the ring finger, and your pinky finger are pointing at you. So it's like you point, but fucking three are pointing back at you. So where is it you? And Wayne Dyer and Anis Nin, which I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Anis Nin, says, like you don't see things as they are. You see them as you are. So you don't really see people, you see your shit in other people. So you know when you get triggered by someone, or triggered, I don't mean like, big trigger, but like when you get bothered by someone who you think is arrogant, there is arrogance in you that is not being expressed. And you're pointing the finger, judging them, but it's in you. So you're like, I don't want to become my mother. Guess what? That shit's in you. Of course it is. Anything that we don't want to be, that's our fucking shadow. Anything that we judge of others, that's in us and our shadow, because you wouldn't be able to recognize it if it wasn't a part of you. The reason I know what judgment and, not thinking I'm good enough and all that is because I was that. I was judgmental. I was judgmental as hell to everybody growing up and even before I started doing this work. So I know when any kind of judgment, I know it's me. I'm like, oh, that's an expression of who I used to be. I know that so well that I can jump back into that and be like, yep, that feels familiar. Doesn't mean I'm judgmental as fuck now to everyone. And by the way, you will never not be judgmental. Like you can catch yourself being judgmental and you can shift it. But like, this is a human thing. This is what we do. So being able to know and catch yourself in all of this is the key. But the fact that you think you don't have an ego, or the fact that you think ego is just this one-sided thing, is bullshit. And so I invite you to start listening to this book called A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle. And him and Oprah did a full 10-part podcast series on this, which is amazing. And it's like a Q&A book club of this book. And let me tell you what, Oprah and Eckhart Tolle together is gold, because Eckhart Tolle has this really beautiful, calming voice, and people joke around. We used to joke around in the sisterhood, like, fuck, you can't listen to him and drive or you'll fall asleep. Especially you mothers out there that we have no sleep. It's like his voice is so calming. But this man is so present, meaning like he's so in the now, that his voice is calm and slow because he's got no rush. He's not thinking about finishing talking and doing something else. He's talking, he's with you in the moment. And we, human beings, struggle because we're so fucking busy in our heads and we're doing so much, doing. Human doings, not human fucking beings. And you're a human being, not a human doing. And it's like, you can't listen to him because his voice will put you to sleep, because that's how fucking not present you are. I'm talking to myself. I listen to him now as like an exercise to be present, because I don't know where I was. My ass was somewhere else, trying to be somewhere else, trying to drive faster, trying to get to where I got to get to. Listen, honey, just be here now. You know what I'm saying? The best mantra ever. Be here now. This is all we have is right now, right? So his book, A New Earth, is amazing. And also there's a podcast series. Every chapter gets broken down with him and Oprah, and they have a Q&A from listeners that send questions. It is, y'all know I talk about Byron Katie, how I love her book. Her and Eckhart Tolle are like best friends. Like he wrote the foreword for her book. Like he's like, this woman's work is the how of my work. So his work is like the what, and she's the how. And if you don't know about her, I've talked about her in like the beginning podcast. But basically, if I was to die and tell my children the two books I want you to read, Byron Katie, Loving What Is, and A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle, and then I'm happy to die. Like, go ahead, read that book 50 million times. And when I tell you, by the way, listener, to read a book, or any of my clients, sisterhood women, to read a book, I don't mean just read a fucking book. I mean live the book, become the book. Let the book be a part of who you are and how you are. I don't just want you to fucking read a bunch of books, and that's the problem. We're looking for all the information. And what podcast do I need to listen to? And 10 podcasts, and listen to every podcast, and read this book, and listen to this, and watch this. And guess what? You don't do shit with it? Who cares? Who cares how much you read? It doesn't matter how much you read. It doesn't matter how much you consume if you are not actioning the shit that you consume. I could listen just to 2 books and change my life. Literally, these 2 books, and you're done reading. Read them again and over until the fucking message becomes the imprinted wallpaper in your mind. How would that be? That'd be fucking amazing. But we have too much, and then we do nothing with it. But we think we know, air quotes, because we read a book or 2 or 10 books. Even worse, the more books you read, the more you think you know, and you don't know shit. I don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? So the shadow and the ego, and Debbie Ford does a lot about shadow work. And shadow is basically like the expression of the ego. So shadow work is all about where, you have these famous people that, like Winona Ryder is stealing. Like, she's got money, she don't need to steal. Where you have these Catholic priests who talk about how being gay is wrong and you shouldn't do that. And they're doing disgusting shit with little boys. Catholic priest. Does it make sense? And then the Catholic Church is hiding it. And then you have politicians, putting laws on women not having abortions, yet they're found telling their escorts that they've paid to have sex with, can you get an abortion? Does that make sense? Like shadow. That's your shadow, the unexpressed, dirty, secret self of yourself that you or somebody when you were a child shamed. And the expression of your ego is the shadow. And it's dangerous because if we don't express our dark parts and we shame ourselves, and an ego is born between 0 to 3 years old. Kids have ego. Of course, my toy, my mother, my house, all of that jazz. Too much to go through in a podcast, to be honest, but I want to leave you with that book because I really want you to do your own discovery. And the Eckhart Tolle is probably the king, the one who speaks best about what ego is. And it's not that it's your enemy and that you should murder it and it should die. It's not that, but it's you becoming aware. And the biggest thing about the word consciousness and people saying we're raising consciousness, and that's what I'm doing in my podcast. I'm raising consciousness in my sisterhood, in my clients, with my children, to myself. We're all raising consciousness. And consciousness just means, go ahead, becoming aware. Awareness. Conscious is aware. Unconscious is the sleep, fucking not aware. So if you can become conscious and raise your awareness, consciousness, then you're just paying attention to shit. You're paying attention. So if you have a reaction to someone that you don't want to have, start watching yourself have that reaction. Start watching yourself yell at your kids and catch it and go, oh my God, there it is. Once you can start becoming aware of the thoughts, becoming aware of your ego, becoming aware of where you're trying to be right, becoming aware of where you point the finger to others, becoming aware of everything you do, then you can start to change it because now you do it. The problem is we're fucking asleep. We don't even know that that's a problem. And if you don't know, there's nothing you can do about it. If you don't know how much you weigh, you can't tell me you lost 5 kilos or 10 pounds. You don't know how much you weigh. Does that make sense? That's an analogy, by the way. I'm not talking about weight. But that is what it is. And so the depth of ego, and what I want you to know from this podcast is that there is a fucking ego which is superior to others. Make a list. Where do you think you're better than others? And be honest. Please be honest with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, the way that you shift the ego and shadow is with conscious awareness and fucking truth. Truth serum to yourself. You don't got to tell anybody else. Like, fuck, I judged that lady's pram. Fuck, I judged that public speaker. Fuck, I judged this, that, and the other. Okay, cool. Catch yourself where you think you are better than others. I'm more awake than others. Others are asleep and I know more than them. That was one I did earlier. As soon as I found out about this work, I'm like, oh my God, my mom is so asleep. Oh, I can't believe she doesn't know that. Oh my God, I can't believe this person doesn't know this. It's like, yeah, well, I didn't know that shit either at the time. And now you do. And then when you start learning and reading books and listening to podcasts like this and more, you start judging people by, don't they understand? Don't they see they're being a victim? And it's like, did you? I didn't. So where are you superior and where are you inferior? Where do you think you're a piece of shit and you don't deserve anything? You're not worthy. You're not good enough. You're indulging in your ego, my darling. And where are you doing that? And write it down. And if you're doing both in both areas, right? Because some of my clients are like, hold on, I think I'm inferior and superior in the same area. Yeah, that's possible. It needs to be addressed separately, by the way. I'm telling you guys, this is a game changer. I can't give you all the answers to this because we don't have enough time. Like this could be, even in the sisterhood, we did a morning session on ego, and then the afternoon was on alter ego, and we needed a full day of ego. So next year I'm going to change it so that it's 2-day events in the sisterhood, because that's what we need. We actually need the time to go in depth into this. And your ego is born in your childhood. Something traumatic happens, because listen, when you're in the womb, you don't need anybody. You don't need anybody when you're in the womb. You got this shit. Like the universe, your God, whoever you believe in, your mother, whoever carried you, they got you. You're getting water, you're getting fluid, you're alive in the womb. You're good. You don't need to do shit. You come out, someone's fucking wiping your ass, literally. Wiping your ass, wiping your nose, looking after you, feeding you, you're good. And then at some point in time, we become and we think, oh, now I got to look after myself. I got this. Let me handle this. I don't need this. And I'm not like them. I am separate. Something, it's like that separation occurs. And then you think that's your ego. You think that you got to do it by yourself and that you're not a greater piece of the universe. Or if you believe in God, of God, like you are so much greater than just this name and this being and this condition and this person on this planet. You are like a part of the fucking cosmos. You're a part of space. You're like God realized. And so we rip ourselves off and we think, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm this, I'm that. We become separate and then we have to fit in. And then your parents say, welcome to the world. Just so you know, we are whatever culture you are, you need to be this person. We do not cry. We don't show emotion. We do this. We people please. This is how we act and we don't do and we do this. And then you become this fucking puppet, this actor in your life and you wear the mask. And then you wear another mask with your friends and another mask with your partner, another mask. So who the fuck really are you? You're a bunch of masks. And then this is how this shit is born. And so there's so much more depth to this. And what we did on that day was, and we're not going to do alter ego, even though I said that earlier in the podcast. Sorry, I'm going to change my mind. Because I want to leave you with ego and shadow. And I want to invite you to do the work on this and start discovering, where you're in your ego and where you need to win always. Or always be right. Or, be fucking feel superior even to your child. He talks about in parenthood. Like, this book is amazing. I'm sad I didn't share it with you earlier. I'm sorry. There's so many podcasts I have. There's so much more I need to give you and share with you. Like, if you think you've got a lot from me, like, this is the fucking beginning. Like, this isn't even the depth of what I want to tell you and give you and share with you. Hence why I created programs and shit so that I want to give everybody the sisterhood experience. Like, I can't tell you guys what these women are doing in their world. Like, I watched them on Sunday on stage and I just bawled. Like, I was bawling my eyes out because every woman that got up on stage to share their alter ego was a woman in the world to me. It wasn't like, Christine got up and Wendy got up. It wasn't like that. By the way, Christine and Wendy, y'all rocked it. Everybody, Lotus, everybody who got up there. I love you guys. Elise, it wasn't that it was Christine or it was Nikita. It was that I could see through those women, all the women of the world like them. Does that make sense? Like, the women of the world are with my heart and soul. Like, when I do this work, I think about the women of the world and I'm like, fuck. Like, I want to meet you. I want to look at your face and tell you that you are so enough and that the only person who thinks that you're shit and you're not enough and the only person doubting themselves is you. You are causing it to yourself. You are being the fucking villain to yourself. So if you can't love yourself, really, you can't accept yourself and give yourself a fucking chance and a break, who the fuck will? If it's just a battle between yourself, it's worth you going and discovering this and doing the work on this. And who would you be if you weren't that shit? I'll tell you, you would be fucking unstoppable. You would be the highest expression of yourself. You wouldn't be fucking cock blocking yourself. You wouldn't be in shit relationships doubting and questioning yourself. You wouldn't be in jobs you fucking hate, relationships you're not happy with. You wouldn't be living places you don't want to live. You wouldn't be doing shit you don't want to do. You would, like me, be enjoying your life to the fucking fullest. In the best relationships, loving everything about yourself and your life, even when it's shit, you would be in acceptance. You wouldn't be in denial. You wouldn't be in fucking anger, and you wouldn't be in frustration. You wouldn't be in your ego. And that's what's available to you. That's what's available to every human on this planet. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this work for women. My husband started a manfulness podcast, which I need to shout out at the end. So he's doing this work for men. It's like, man, like, we need to wake the fuck up that we're the ones with the control. We're the ones with the remote control of our lives. No one else. Did you give the fucking remote control over to someone? And are they playing a horror movie? And I'm like, take it back and change the fucking channel. You have unlimited channels. But you're choosing to watch bullshit and believing your own bullshit and then having a shit experience in life. And you can change that. Does it make sense? Have a look. Start listening to this book. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle. Audio version, buy the book, whatever you need to do, honestly. And if you haven't listened to Byron Katie, that needs to be your combo duo for the rest of your life, as I said. Right? They did that podcast series. Check that out. And write that down. Figure out where the fuck do you think you're superior. And be honest with yourself. And where are you standing in, I'm not good enough, I'm inferior? Because that is ego. You are an egomaniac, just so you know. And I know you don't like hearing that, but I want you to hear it, and I want it to make your ears bleed. Because it's like, what? I'm an egomaniac if I think I'm not good enough? Shit, I don't want to be that. Great. And ego ego is basically who you think you are, how you define yourself. I am an anxious person. I have always lacked confidence. I am an only child. No, Erica, you don't understand. I am a trauma survivor. I am a blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what does that mean then? Who do you need to be if that's your title and if that's your label? And that's why I did that podcast, You Are Not Your Anxiety. Because you're not your depression. You're not your fucking anxiety. You're not a mother. You're a human being. You're a person. And these are things you do, but you don't need to become that. Like, I'm not a mother role. I'm mother, I love my children, but I'm a fucking boss bitch. I handle my business. I'm a wife. I fuck my husband, right? Like, I do my thing in all my areas. I don't just become mother archetype and that's it, because that's not sexy to be mother with my husband. It's not sexy to be mother in my business, mothering my fucking clients. No way. So I am who I want to be in all of my roles, but for sure who I am is who I feel to be in the moment. And that's really who you are. Who are you? Who are you? That's a question. Eckhart Tolle says, if you can't answer that, great. Because it allows you to evolve. If you answer, I am this, you limit yourself. You limit yourself. I am Puerto Rican. I am American. What does that mean? How do I have to act now living in Australia as a Puerto Rican? Well, what's my definition of Puerto Rican? For me, it's a fucking don't fuck with me, I'll cut you, I'm angry, I'm a ghetto bitch. And I don't want to be that. So if I let that go, it doesn't mean I'm not Puerto Rican as descent, but it means I can let go of that title of who I think that title means. Does that make sense? It's deep, y'all. It's deep. This work is deep. This will be forever. This work will be forever work. But I want to, if you haven't done it already, I want to introduce you to it. The Shadow. Debbie Ford has a movie about it. Oh my God, there's so much. Do this. Listen to this stuff. Please, as well, if you have questions and more stuff, get guided support. Get a coach or a therapist that will do forward focus stuff, not just past, right? Like, get what you need, basically, to do this work and handhold. And this is why I say to people, like, if you've got trauma and past shit, please don't think that you're going to listen or read your way out of it. You need to see someone. You need to have a coach. You need to have somebody hold your hand and walk you through the shit that you've experienced so that you can heal it. Why? So you can live a better life, so you can be clear, so you can, feel lighter, so that you can help your kids or your family or whoever you want to help in the world do the same. Like, please don't think that you read a book and then it's all sorted for you. Like, invest in yourself and get the help that you need from the people that you want to work with. Like, what? Like, of course, I'm forever growing. I'm forever going to have mentors that I pay to help me. Of course I am. Or programs. Hells yes. And the minute you think you know something, unthink that. Because the minute you think you know, you're done learning. I'm forever growing. So ego is huge. Oh, Lord have mercy. If you can't already understand how huge it is, it's huge. And I would love for you to discover more of yours. And it's a great thing. It's a really great thing when you start doing this work on it. I'm going to let you go because there's a lot up in here in this podcast. And what I want to do, oh my God, it's 30 minutes. What I want to do quickly is also tell you, if you have been messaging me about the Sisterhood online group, a lot of you have been sending me your email. I'm going to do a form on my website that lets you put your name and email so that when this program is available, and the early bird is going to be, when I say fucking ridiculous, like ridiculous. Like, it's a 6-month program, the Sisterhood. It's a global, it's literally what we're doing live in an online version. You have everything. You'll have the library of all my videos, all the content, live Q&A calls with me. I'll be your fucking coach for 6 months in this program. You can hit me up. Like, it's ridiculous. There's going to be a limited amount of people that can do this program because it's going to run live with me. And so if you are interested, I may do a pre-sale, I may do something, but the early bird's going to be redonkulous. I don't want you to miss it if you want to do this work and you live in Ireland, or you live in Vienna, or you live in Spain, or you live in LA, or you live in fucking Wyoming, or you're in Colorado, or you're in Antarctica. Like, literally, I don't want you to miss it. So I am going to create on my website a form that lets you put your name and your email. So if you're hearing this, the form is on my website, thequeenofconfidence.com. It should be under Global Sisterhood. Name and email. So you say, Eric, I'm fucking interested. When you have this program, let me know. It will never be this price point ever again. It will never be this price point ever again. Ever. I'm not having another early bird. I don't do that. It's this one time and that's fucking it. Get in and do it. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to do this work with you guys because fuck, we've been chatting on the podcast and I get to then now work with you And those of you that message me that are overseas or in the UK, like, I just want to lick your face. I love you. And I'm so grateful that this work has been helping you. And imagine if the podcast is helping you, doing a 6-month fucking program with me, working on every single area of this shit. Oh my God. Anyway, enough about that, y'all. You can tell that I'm very passionate and excited about how this shit's going to change the planet and the world with whoever does this work. That's one. And two, Hamish Kramer, my gorgeous, sexy ass husband, has done a podcast called Manfulness. So M-A-N, full, F-U-L, and then Ness, N-E-S-S. Manfulness, the podcast by Hamish Kramer. It is all this shit for men in the man way. And a lot of my clients in the sisterhood, because Hamish does meditation for us, and he'll be doing that in the group as well, in the online group. They're like, I've listened to all of Hamish's podcasts. I don't know if my husband will listen, but I've listened. And they're like, it's like male, it's like man translation, like translating how men think. And I'm like, oh my God, I never even thought about that. That's actually true, because I've listened to all of them. He's got 3 episodes now. And it's so interesting, even though I know my husband, it's interesting to hear his take on things about, like, when I started making more money than him, or, you know, how he has to emotionally and support us and all that stuff. It's really interesting. So if you've got a man in your life, husband, partner, friend, cousin, brother, father, whoever, and you want them to listen to this kind of work, and they don't want to listen to my podcast, or there's a lot of women's podcast, you can send them over to Hamish Manfulness Podcast. It's so good. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, and if you like it, of course, give him a little review so that more men can get to listen to this podcast, because he really wants to help men waken, you know, and soften and stand in their emotions and know that that's actually the masculine strength, is not you being fucking alpha male, like pretending you don't want to cry. It's you actually standing in your full power, and you can't stand in your full power if you do not express or allow your emotions. It's fucking crazy. So I love you so much. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Te quiero, te amo. Gracias por escucharme. Espero verlos pronto on Instagram. If you don't know what I just said, haha, go learn Spanish. Just kidding. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Mwah. Thank you so much for listening. I so appreciate your ears, your time, your energy, and your attention. Please do me a favor and head over to Apple iTunes, subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. Share this episode with a sister who you know needs to hear it. And if you feel called to, leave me a review. I'd love to know what you think about the podcast. I'd love to know how this information is helping you change your world. Thank you so much for being here. I know that there are many podcasts you could listen to, and I really appreciate you listening to mine. Have a gorgeous week, honey.